Good morning, internet people. Welcome back to our live stream. Uh, Today is Tuesday. We're going to give our carrots a little more of carrots before we make them super hungry. So today we're going to do some bit of carrots, and we bought enough carrots for them. It's going to be a good practice first to clean these containers. We have carrots here. Have carrots here to give them. Hope you can see that beginning with carrots, and we hope that they will also be able to enjoy the carrots. So these are basically carrots that we are going to give them. So we're giving them carrots in the morning so that they can start with the carrots. And I think make sure that these carrots are seen. Just try to place them a little bit there. And on this other side, so that's the carrots we have given them. And we hope that they will enjoy more of the carrots this morning. So thank you. Join our live stream. Yeah, we've given them carrots this morning, so we expect them to really enjoy carrots. And that's the first thing we do. We've given them quite a number of carrots to enjoy. And also, there is this strong man here, which I have to just give them. So when I'm feeding them with the carrots, you can actually see there's quite a number of carrots here. I can actually put this carrot down there so that you guys can see that we're actually giving them carrots. So it's pure carrots that they're feeding on. I put them in the container. You are not able to see them, but yeah, quite some good carrots for them. So today it's like Merry Christmas to my bunnies. Yeah. Also want to try and make this one happy. So there's another one here which I'm giving it carrots also. Actually, Daddy. So the bunnies are actually enjoying carrots, as you can see. Quite impressive. Early morning, and they're already feasting on carrots. That's the first good sign. We have the feeds. We are going to give them the feeds, but super nice to hear the bunnies crack the carrots as we expected. So the sound should be a little bit amazing. Thank you for joining the live stream. Today we are going to do a live stream of about 2 hours. We started with the carrots. They are really enjoying the carrots. Let's see how much they can eat today. Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and let's progress. Let's hit 1,000. let's hit 1,000. So there's going to be about feeding the rabbits. And we're going to talk more about farming. Welcome to our live rabbit feeding. And today Welcome to our live rabbit feeding. Welcome to our live rabbit feeding. This is my story, and I want to introduce you to Rico Farm. Rico Farm is an interesting farm that deals with giant rabbits, and we have the rabbits feeding on carrots. And right now we're going to start introducing them to their amazing meal. And since we are introducing them to their amazing meal, we want to make sure that these rabbits are not far away when it comes to the feeds. I want to keep the feeds quite closer for them so that they can feed on, and you should also be able to see it. So today in our story, personally, I want to share with you why rabbit farming. And I warmly welcome you, our viewers, on this live stream. We want to share our personal story, why we started rabbit farming and why you should start rabbit farming. I joined farming for two things. Farming has the other part of livestock, and also that part for crops. So we wanted to do something so unique with farming. We have land that is limited in urban area, so we wanted to introduce vertical farming. So my story began when I wanted to change the future of modern farming, because I see in a lot of countries that have tried so much to change the future of modern farming. And one of the things they did was to look at vertical farming. And as we get to see how these rabbits feeds, we realize that our crop needs nutrients. Then from there, we said, where do we get the nutrients, and what nutrients do the crop needs if we are going to grow our crops vertically using vertical farming? So we decided to, for our viewers to know that we decided to set up the infrastructure, put a lot of money to set up the vertical towers, the greenhouse, and that was it. Now it came to nutrients. We started buying nutrients and they were quite expensive. Then someone told me that, did you try to do some research when it comes to rabbit farming? You could get their urine and then use those urines to grow the crops. So we had to shift our main interest by introducing the rabbits so that we can collect the nutrients. This is the actual personal story, how we ventured into rabbit farming. And also, in the other part is that we introduced this rabbit farming with the intention to also profit from it, because we have what we call the nutrients, the meat, the manure, the furs. All these are benefits. We're going to have about closer to 1,000 or 6,000 rabbits. Right now, this is just, we are experimenting. We already acquired land where we are going to do the urban farming. And we also have the vertical tower garden, which you've already seen. And we're trying so much to make sure that we make sure that these rabbits actually do so well. So personally, I have started with these rabbits. Actually, I bought them when they were quite young. just like 2 weeks. But the rate at which these rabbits actually grow, it's very fast. So if you've been into rabbit farming, you realize that they don't actually take long to grow. So this is a 1 month and 2 months rabbit that has really grown, and all of them turn out to be male rabbits. So let's know in the comment section, and it's a quick one. Would you raise rabbit for meat? Would you raise rabbit for, if you're not going to raise rabbit for meat, would you raise it for manure? Would you raise it as a pet? That's a quick question that should trigger you. Okay, let me know where you're watching from. Where are you watching from? And of course, this is just the beginning, but we hope that it would grow in number. So, who is here already raising rabbits? You have people who are raising rabbit, and what do you normally feed your rabbits with? Let's get to the housing. I want to give you one of the challenges when you want to do what we call free range rabbit. In free range, it's quite difficult to raise these rabbits because they dig the ground and they can be everywhere. But we can also house them in cages. The structure you see here is basically cages. These are cages where we put these rabbits. So these cages ideally helps the rabbit to be in a controlled environment. You can do breeding, monitor it, and also be able to follow how they are growing. So, and they can reproduce very fast with this method. And if I'm to ask you, what would you prefer to build your rabbit houses with? Let me know what you would prefer. Would you prefer wire, steel? What would you really prefer? To me, for me to have this space with more of ventilation, we watch a number of videos. We've seen that rabbits can hatch very fast in cages, even when they're in free range. But let me explain to you the idea why we opted for cages. Cages are easier to clean. They can have a number of enough ventilation, so you can see. Ideally, they have enough ventilation, so that's why they rarely fall sick, because of the cleanliness, ventilation, and space. You do not have to put them in very small space. So, key things when it comes to housing and setup: space is important, ventilation, and cleanliness. Now, we're going to look at the feeding. We do not expect you to feed these rabbits with cabbages. Cabbages causes something called bloating. And also the feeds are not supposed to be quite or wet, ideally. When the feeds are wet, they will cause bloating. The stomach will be full with gas and they will die. And we don't want to experience that at our rabbit farm. So I encourage you to share with me the photos or what you're doing with your rabbit. If you have a community you want to join our group, changing the narratives of urban farming, vertical farming, So you could also send us your videos, your story, and we will see how we can share these stories and gain knowledge and experiences from experts. Now, on the feeding bit of it, rabbits actually do enjoy feeding, and they really feed so well. And for us here at Rico Farm, basically what we do, we feed our rabbits with leafy plants. These leafy plants are collards. The Kenyans normally call it sukuma wiki. We do broccoli. They're quite good. We tried spinach, but it's kind of bitter, so the rabbits actually don't eat spinach. Then we also feed them with curry and also a little bit of the leaves for bush beans. Rabbits also enjoy a lot of fibers like the banana, no, a little bit banana leaves, the mango leaves, use the pawpaw, others people call it papaya leaves. Those are very good. But the do's and don'ts, we'll talk about wet greens, wet leafy plants, very toxic for the rabbits. So I've seen a number of people do pellets. Pellet is good for rabbits, very nutritious, but it comes with cost. A bag is about 55,000. That means each rabbit would cost about 50 to 100, or the giant one would go up to 250. So if I may ask you, if you had to feed your rabbits today, what would it be? If you'd feed your rabbits today, what would it be? Of course, you see, I do feed mine with a lot of pellets once in a while, not always, but most of the time they actually eat. My rabbits actually eat mostly. My rabbits actually eat mostly. They eat mostly the leafy plants, as you can see in the background. Those are they're not like bad feeds, but they're very good feeds that I normally feed my rabbits with. But my question is, and still remains, if you had to feed your rabbits, okay, what would it be? What would you use for feeding your rabbits? That's a number 1 million question. So the do's and don'ts are, when you feed rabbits, I think from the experience I have, the expert rates I have, is that the do's and don'ts is that do not feed these rabbits with wet leaves or wet greens. Avoid wet greens, toxic plants. These toxic plants can be like, I'm not so much into those weeds, but I can get for you one of the weeds here. If you're in the comment section, you would tell me what kind of weed is this one. So let me see. There is this weed here. This weed here is not good. I've seen some people feed the rabbits with this weed. Ideally, this weed is not good because it's quite toxic. This weed is very toxic. You do not have to feed it with your rabbits. So avoid this weed. Then what other things must you avoid feeding with the rabbits? Quite many. But anything that is wet greens causes bloating, toxic plants causes bloating. We do not want you to wake up with the sad news at the farm that your rabbits are unalive. So my $1,000,000 question is, can rabbit eat cabbages daily? True or false? We need a good moderator here. Do we have, can rabbit eat cabbages daily? To me, it's false. Rabbits can't eat cabbages daily. Why? Because cabbages are quite dangerous for the rabbits. They cause a lot of bloating, especially if they eat it in excess. Now, we're also going to have some bit of breeding and growth. So, how do you do the breeding? How do you select healthy breeders like the bucks, the doers, and how do you demonstrate that your rabbit is always ready and the readiness, it's on heat, signs that your rabbit is on heat, and what is the gestation period of our rabbit? So I think the gestation period is between 28 to 30 days. Rabbit produce very fast, but one thing that I want to tell you is that even in today's live stream, I know that viewers turn up is quite poor today. I don't know why, but the algorithm should be doing better. YouTube, you should be doing much more better, especially to the farmers who wake up early morning to get to this live stream. Imagine you set up a live stream and the algorithm intentionally doesn't want to push you to many viewers. This is not good for people who labor to create this content. But all the best. So the breeding is that the gestation period is quite like 28 to 30 days, but the rabbits actually do much more faster. So a quick one to our audience. How many kids do you think a rabbit can have in 1 liter? How many babies? We call them babies, kids. Some people call it bunnies. So let's guess. Do you think the rabbits can produce 20, 30, 100? Let's know. Personally, for those who have missed this live stream, is that there's another bunny there. I can try to show it to you. It's there. So this is within the cages. Okay. The rabbits can actually produce between 6 to 12 bunnies. So that's a very big number in terms of what we're trying to show you here. So I think rabbit farming can be very profitable for our viewers. And also a quick one, let's wrap up this, and please with something small on disease management. Do you think diarrhea, mates, heat stress, or untidy cages can lead to disease? The answer is yes. These untidy environments will always cause diseases to the rabbits. So it's very important to make sure that they're tidy, they're clean, so that you do not experience that. But it's Tuesday, guys. This is a very interesting live stream. I ask you to like the video, subscribe, and let's grow this channel together. We are still doing well when it comes to how we're feeding these rabbits, and we expect them to do much more better. So with diseases, diarrhea, mates, heat stress is also another thing, because like mine, my rabbit have this kind of challenge when it gets too hot. So for our viewers, thank you for joining and thank you for liking the video. We're just going to do a video where you can watch at your own pace. Thank you. We will probably come back and do another video.